guys coming in, just sort of, with time to acclimate, what are your expectations for this first little stretch with them?
Yeah, well, I think both guys have the ability to help us. And so you're getting two veteran players, number one, lots of experience playing in big games on a big stage, and they both have played well in some of those situations. Obviously, like adding Lindgren to our back end that's a big add. Okay, for all the reasons that we've talked about at times during the year, the depth, getting another really strong penalty killer, the physicality around the net front and down low in your own zone to be able to help close plays out. He can play a lot, and I think that will help lighten the load and allow us to be able to, especially on the penalty kill, save some ice time off of 7 and 8 especially, so their energy can be used in some other situations. So that's a big add. And then Jimmy's he's a little bit of a Swiss Army knife over his career. He's been moved around a little bit. Another top penalty killer as a forward. You can't have enough of those. He's got good size. He's got a little bite to his game. Kind of fits the mold of what our third and fourth lines are playing to right now. So we get, obviously there's a forward swap there in that deal, right? So the Rangers liked Parson in, and we liked Vesey, and they maybe both needed a change of scenery, and so that becomes part of the deal. So we feel good about the trade and what these guys should be able to help with our team.
State one, and obviously you got guys like Manson who are still out, but where do you envision Lindgren slotting in the lineup?
Yeah, so I think they'll move around quite a bit. We get Manson back, and you got. I think you want to have those two guys playing on different pairs. Yeah, so depending on how everyone's playing, but you also have the ability to, getting another guy that can defend top 6 forwards on other teams and has done it well is really important, because then it can free up Taser and Kale. So it just feels like some nights they're trying to do everything. They're trying to help create offense and play with McKinnon, but then they got to be able to check the other team's top line that comes on the ice. Now we have some options to be able to move that around a little bit.
When he's played with Fox for years now,
yeah,
there, at least from the outside, there has been a perceived drop off there, and there's been a lot of discussion in New York about the on-off numbers for the two of them. What do you make of that?
Well, analytics is tricky because we might not value the same things they value. Our model of his is likely different, right? And and we may deploy him different, right? We have Taser and Kale. It was him and Fox. So he might see less time against some of the top guys in the league. He might see more in certain situations. He might see less time overall. But we look at the strengths of what we think are his strengths of his game and what we like about that. And we're excited about the physicality, the net front presence, all the defending metrics. I think he's got pretty good ozone metrics as well. We've been struggling with our D to be productive with 3 pairs, and so to add a guy of his caliber for us is exciting, and like I said, the analytics side of it can be tricky sometimes. If we feel like if we get an understanding of his game, get him clear on our system, deploy him the right way, we feel like those numbers will be moving in the right direction.
So you just mentioned you guys have been struggling to get some of the production out of the pairings. It's partially there's been so many different players kind of rotating in on those bottom pairing and a half. How nice is it to have a guy that is going to be an every night guy for you?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Yeah, and yeah, it's huge. And going into playoffs, and again, the biggest thing is who can defend other teams' top players, and he's a guy that can. We feel like Manson can, G can, so we've got options now that will hopefully help free up Kale and Taser a little bit on some nights, or at least one of them on some nights, where we can where they don't have to try and do double duty the whole night.
I know it's, again, obviously day one, but talking to them about the system they're coming from into your system, do you see that that's going to be maybe an easier transition? Because Lindgren did say that they were a little similar.
Yeah, I think there's some changes to it for sure. But there are some things that I think are pretty common and pretty similar. So I don't think it's going to be a huge adjustment period just from talking to those two guys. And again, they're both veteran guys. Like Jimmy's played on different teams with different guys, different systems. They're asking the right questions. I didn't want to overload him this morning. Like, I'll continue to talk to him about some of the subtle differences, but I just wanted them to kind of get the nuts and bolts and then go and practice. But there's enough similarities there, and they've played some different systems even in New York with different coaches too. So I think veteran guys have been around. They can understand the changes and make the adjustments.
And how nice is that to have these couple of days off after this trade that you can get them acclimated?
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, because like even Prater now is going to meet with them on penalty kill. Both guys are going to have a role there. So it's good to be able to show them, discuss them, like if it's just happening on a game day, it makes it more difficult. So they can kind of settle into, get used to their teammates' surroundings, get to know people a little bit before you got to put them in game action.